guys, Geekonomics here. So I want to bring you what I have been considering with my Year 13 students this week. I think it's been a little bit of a revelation actually with regard to the key distinction between JMK, John Maynard Keynes, and maybe the likes of Smith, Friedman with regard to classical economics. And we did feel that this has been a little bit of a light bulb moment, ladies and gents. So as you'll know, John Maynard Keynes, one of his very famous quotes, and I do recommend that you learn such quotes for your exams, "In the long run we're all dead," and I'll say a little bit more about that in a moment. But the light bulb moment, ladies and gentlemen, the thing which is really switched on for my Year 13 students is the whole notion that Keynesian theory states that equilibrium can land anywhere on the long run aggregate supply curve. Now that of course means that we could be landing close to or on the full employment equilibrium level of output, but equally it's just as likely that we might land somewhere down here, Y2, where we have an enormous negative output gap, or maybe here, Y3, again, negative output gap. Now if that is the case, ladies and gentlemen, that is obviously clearly indicative of market failure, according to Keynes, and of course that requires government intervention. Now if we've got market failure, that's also indicative of the fact that markets, and specifically Keynes would refer to the labour market, markets being very inflexible and consequently require intervention by the government in order to correct the market failure, in order to manage the aggregate demand and move the economy towards its full employment level of output. Shift AD along here, as you well know from your studies of economics. Alternatively, if we turn to classics, inflation is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon, as you'll know, one of Friedman's very famous quotes there. Well, equilibrium, according to classical economists, always returns to its natural rate, its YN rate, the natural rate of unemployment. And so it really doesn't matter what the government does, particularly with regard to this whole notion of demand management. Any movements, particularly short-term movements, away from the natural rate of unemployment will only result in higher and higher levels of inflation. And this is because classical economists would argue that markets are so flexible and workers do not suffer from things such as money illusion, that the markets will react and move back to, they will adjust back to this natural rate of unemployment. And so therefore, aggregate demand, certainly on its own, demand management, is a little bit futile. What must be done instead is to move the AS curve, maybe using supply side policies, and use that in tandem with demand management, which will obviously therefore shift AD. So that, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's very illuminating, very enlightening for you young economists looking at Keynes and classics and considering what policy is the most appropriate. Keynes says we can land anywhere. Therefore, that will necessitate government intervention to bring us back towards YF. Classic says, no, we'll always come back to the natural rate. Therefore, you as the economist must be thinking, well, how do we then manipulate the natural rate as opposed to just manipulating the level of AD? So I'll leave that with you to ponder, ladies and gentlemen. Bye for now.